Joeri Staelens is Plant Quality Manager of CNH Industrial in Zedelgem, with 21 years of experience in manufacturing, of which 15 years as a leader in continuous improvement with major focus on quality. He has been in the role as a global quality leader for world-class manufacturing in CNH International, and today he's piloting the integration to a relatively new lean program, CNH Business System, with his team in Zedelgem. And if I understand correctly, they will have some questions for the public as well. Well,
sure, of course.
So don't hold back. And the floor is yours. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Good afternoon. To be honest, I've been very inspired by the past sessions we've seen. I hope we can do the same level. It's very happy. We had some touch points, same things you will recognize in our presentation, I hope. My name is Joeri Staelens, as already said. I'm very pleased to have with me Pieter as a continuous improvement manager specialist. And I don't need to stress the importance of continuous improvement in this room full of quality gurus, how can I call it? So today we want to witness what the transition is from world-class manufacturing to a new system called CNH Business System. So it came with a new CEO, and there's something to tell about it. It's a little accent, and it's why it's so titled Lean Programs. There are many kinds, many names, all with the same goals, but some details can make a difference and impact. Okay, I'll let it to Pieter.
Thank you. Thank you, Joeri, for the introduction. Good afternoon, everybody. Maybe in the next 3 slides, I would like to give you some high-level overview of indeed, like was introduced, the 2 main production methodologies. The academic recognize that there are 2 main. On the one hand, we have lean manufacturing. On the other hand, we have world-class manufacturing. I would like to give you some high-level introduction on both. We'll do some reading because it's some theoretical insights. So the first one is lean manufacturing. And it's a production methodology that is mainly based on reducing the waste and continuously improving the processes. It was based on the principles of Toyota production system, and it was developed in Japan shortly after the Second World War. During that time, the car industry in the United States was booming. So the car manufacturers were really putting their focus on mass production. A lot of parts, a lot of standardization, so they were able to reduce the cost and give an affordable car to the market. The situation in Japan was completely different. The economy had to be completely rebuilt, and at that time, Japan even closed their borders for import. They invested heavily in the industry. And it was during that zeitgeist that Toyota production system was developed by Taiichi Ohno, who was an industrialist and an engineer. It was based on continuously focusing on quality and reducing the waste in the process. And by doing that, they were able to reduce the cost and also offer a car to the market. It was in 1990 that the book came onto the market, The Machine That Changed the World, from Momak and Jones. And that was the first time that the term lean manufacturing was born. But academics and also specialists in the field, lean manufacturing and Toyota production system, it is the same. So on what is it built? It's built on 2 main concepts. IDOKA, building quality, and it means automation by a human touch. The intention is that we stop the process as soon as there is an abnormality. And the second concept is just in time. We only produce if the next process is requesting us to produce something. Everything we try to improve with Kaizen, continuously improving the process, where we engage and involve the people in the organization. really about the engagement of people. So if you look to world-class manufacturing, how was world-class manufacturing originated? It was the beginning of the 80s, and many Western companies tried to introduce lean also in their company. But almost as many failed. So there was a lot of theoretical debate, also based on Porter's 5 forces, where we say, okay, how can we reduce competition by trying to strive for operational excellence? And in 1984, the book from Hayes and Wheelwright, Restoring Our Competitive Edge, was published. And it was the first time that the theoretical model of world-class manufacturing was brought to the public. During the 80s and the 90s, there was mainly theoretical debate about this model. But in 2006, Fiat Group, together with some other companies, developed the World-Class Manufacturing Association. And it is in this association that the theoretical model was put into practice into the companies. Also together with Professor Yamashina from the Kyoto University. So he supported and coached companies that introduced world-class manufacturing into the companies. Other companies besides Fiat Group that also used this are Ariston Thermo Group, Atlas Copco also used it, Volvo Powertrain, Unilever, so a lot of companies were part of that association. But how does it work now, the world-class manufacturing? So it consists of 10 technical and 10 managerial principles as foundation. And the goal is to go for zero waste in each of the technical pillars. How do you do that? By a strict 7-step approach. And I say strict because that is really important in the world-class manufacturing. There are strict rules on how to do it. Based on the improvement that you have in each pillar, you are scored by world-class manufacturing experts and auditors. You get a certain score, and if you are at a certain level, you get a medal. So it's really a scoring system to see how you improve, and you can compare different factories, different sectors on their operational excellence. That was the basic idea of world-class manufacturing. So if we now look high level and compare lean that was originated by Toyota and world-class manufacturing, on the one hand, for lean, the endpoint is cultural. In world-class manufacturing, the focus is more on a set of policies and tools that need to be followed. Lean is all about internal engagement. It's engaging the people in Kaizens, engaging in them in daily management. In world-class manufacturing, it's more on the competition. Do you get a medal? Do you get a higher score during each audit? Lean is very result-driven. World-class manufacturing, very audit-driven, and the strict 7 steps that need to be followed to improve. Lean is more a consensus bottom-up culture, where world-class manufacturing is a formalized top-down strategy. Lean is based on continuous improvement, daily improving your processes, while world-class manufacturing target is 0, operational excellence. In Lean, we look to the complete value stream. In world-class manufacturing, it was really more in the boxes. Can we optimize the box? So Lean is more a business approach, where world-class manufacturing is more limited to the manufacturing side. Both can succeed. I'm not saying one is better than the other. Both can succeed. But if you want to succeed, you need to have discipline. And that's what mainly in Japan was present during the implementation of Lean. They had the discipline to do it. But there are some pitfalls. Pitfalls that made that companies do not succeed in the one or the other is that they are deteriorating from limited, focused KPIs. They look to short-term cost cutting, and for sure during these times, when the economy is down a bit, companies will again look to the cost and try to reduce their costs. So that's a risk also today again. It's lack of the managing of change and engagement, not documenting the standards, a lack of abnormality management, if something goes wrong in the process? Do we have a process to deal with that? And it's a lack of training and learning by doing mentality. In the end, for both, the tools are 30% of the mean, and these are not the end. I will give the word now to Joeri again.
Thank you, Pieter. So, before we continue with WCM, that's what we call it, WCM, let's introduce a bit more about our company, because CNH is a company that makes equipment, like you can see on the picture. It says enough. It's agriculture and constructional equipment that we deliver worldwide. And you know it better under the brands Case New Holland. That's what CNH stands for also. It's finding its roots back to 1842. I will spare you the whole history. Okay. The vision of the company and our purpose, I will actually read it. It's really to have continuous improvement, of course, but especially for our customers, we want to help the guys that operate the agriculture machines and the construction equipment to the maximum efficiency, and there is a fusion between innovation, sustainability, and productivity. That's really the thinking about the companies that were today the most advanced equipment, even in car industry. If you see how much they evaluate with self-driving cars, it's very similar. The sky is the limit. CNH Global is a company with a turnover of 24 billion per year, 40 R&D centers, 43 manufacturing facilities, in total 40,000 employees. Like I said, a long history, and the majority of business is agriculture, 76%. Then zooming in Zelgem, where we are from, is we call it the Center of Excellence of Harvesting. We don't call it, it's called like that. Just want to stress it again. It's founded in 1906, and we were actually the first developers and constructors of the self-driving combine in 1952 in Europe. We have the full spectrum, manufacturing from raw material till finished product, an R&D center, training center for employees but also for customers, and a commercial center. 3,000 employees in Zelgem, 500 suppliers, and almost 30,000 different components that are present on these products. The size of the site is more or less 32 soccer fields. Just to give you an impression about the size. These are the 3 products that we make in Zelgem. 3 different assembly lines. Okay. Now, what is history with WCM, world-class manufacturing in Zelgem? I was already introduced. There's a scoring system. How could you earn the score? You could have a maximum of 100 points. Then you are ultimate world-class. Nobody achieved that. On the technical pillars, you could achieve 5 points, and also on the managerial principles in the bottom and the foundation, you could also score 5 points per pillar. That's how all plants were audited and scored in terms of their maturity to world-class manufacturing. This was the end situation in 2021 for Zelgem. So we were more or less about 59 points if you count them all together, with per pillar the individual score. Each, you don't have to read it, each pillar, even the principal ones for the management, both the pillars from the technical pillars had a lot of criteria how you can earn points, and there's a really interesting material to read. Very detailed, very challenging, going basically from one point that you prove that you can react on problems to then you go to preventive, and the higher scores you go to proactive, that you don't establish any more problems, that you really anticipate the future problems in your manufacturing. And the score 5 nobody achieved is the ultimate advanced. You always need to keep room for improvement. Okay. Now, this was very, how do you call it? It's like the cup of football. It was ranked. The plants were there. You have here the list of all the plants. At that time, we had 64 plants because we also had Iveco in our group, and the scores were monitored all over the place. A real competition. At that time, we ended up in the, I think the, what is it, the 20th place, something like that. Yeah, somewhere there. Not the best, but okay, we did our thing, and we were proud. Okay, but this was really competition, and was taking into the hand that each plant really got his own pillar leader that needed to drive the progression in these pillars, especially these technical pillars, bring it up to the maximum score, because the plants with the best score have the best plant managers, and if you are the best plant manager, then you are a hero if you can increase an additional score for your pillar. So that's what happened. However, if you see, we could increase very fast. We started in 2008. We got in 2012 our first bronze award. We were very proud and were extremely motivated. Bronze meant that we were capable demonstrating that we understood the whole business of world-class manufacturing on a pilot environment. To achieve silver, you need to expand over your whole company, at least in your own production area. To do that, we took more than 12 years and actually never achieved it. And this brought us to a new time slot with a new CEO, but I will get back the word to Pieter.
So indeed, like Joeri mentioned, more than a decade of world-class manufacturing, high competition between the plants. If you reach a medal, plant manager was indeed rewarded, also at the end of the year. So you can imagine it had some impact on the company, how you try to present during these kinds of audits. But on the other hand, if we look into the stock market, we see that CNH is the bottom blue one. We're going over the last 10 years until 2021. And we see that CNH was outperformed by their main competitors, Caterpillar and John Deere. CNH was even performing less than the Standard & Poor's 500 index. At that time, a new CEO came on board, Scott Wine, and so he had two options. He could say, okay, I will do drastic restructuring of the company, or I will build on the capabilities that the company has developed during the last 10 years, because we cannot deny that the company really developed good capabilities with world-class manufacturing. So he said, we need to change a bit, and let's go to CNH business system, where we more engage the people and go to problem solving at the point of impact. So a new culture was developed with focused 5 targets. We called it CNH business system. And Scott Wine indeed says it has learned us a lot, but did not deliver the value that we need to really differentiate from our competitors. He bring on board Scott Moran. He's like the CNH business system executive. Has a lot of experience. Has introduced lean manufacturing in other companies like Danaher. He came on board and he said, okay, we need to be more customer-centric, together solving our problems. And making sure that they stay fixed. One thing is to do a short-term containment action, but that we really solve the problems that matters for our customers. CNH business system has 2 foundations. The one is a daily management system, and the team, the leaders and support team members are really going daily at the production floor to the point of impact, to listen to the group leaders, to listen to their problems and support them with what they need to solve the problems at the point of impact. It is going more narrow, focus, and going more deep. The second one are the Kaizen events. And during the Kaizen events, we are putting a team of colleagues from different departments together to really work 1 week dedicated, 8 hours per day, 5 days in a row, on a sustainable, on a real problem for the business. To give you an idea, next year, 2024, Zedelgem is targeting to do 75 Kaizen weeks. So that's a lot. That's mean that almost 20 FTE are continuously in Kaizen weeks. To give, oh, that was not the. To give an idea on just on daily management system, our target is to be not better firefighters, but to become better problem solvers. And we really have our loop 1, loop 3, loop 2, and loop 3 Hemba walks. On the loop 1, we're going to the group leaders and listen to what are your daily KPIs towards safety, delivery, quality. Did you hit the target yesterday? If not, do you understand why you didn't hit the target? And how can we make sure that we are hitting the target for next times? These are really 9 walks. We have 45 KPI boards on group leader level and 9 walks that are happening between 8:30 and 10 o'clock. At 10 o'clock, we have the management walk, where each manager of the assembly line, the painting line, the machining shop, and the welding shop are presenting their results from the day before. It's really following a strict script to present. And it's, again, it's discipline. Discipline to not start with storytelling and window dressing, but really talking about your problems, not your achievements. And then at the site level also, of course, we report corporate-wise. It's all about daily accountability. If Joeri is telling us that by next Wednesday he will execute an action, next Wednesday we expect that Joeri is finished with the action. And we do follow it up at the accountability board. And we are becoming better in it. But it's a process. And then maybe a more high level. So we have the daily point of impact Hemba walks. These are fed by data from the hour-by-hour data tracking in each workstation. The management team has a weekly site compass room where we talk about, okay, how are we performing as a plant? Which improvements do we need for breakthrough? And of course, we need also to do some reporting corporate-wise, and that's a monthly operating review meeting. I think I'm coming to the next slide for Joeri.
So during this journey, there were some takeaways, some lessons learned. First thing, like I said already, world-class manufacturing was really a treasure of really good guidelines to become the best in class. So it had very good roadmaps, well described, 88 pages per pillar, what to do, and that was the manual to come to the top. So with the manual alone, you cannot get there. Secondly, the audit system was really a driver to get the ultimate progress out of each technical pillar and bring them to the highest level. So it was really a strong rewarding system, and the best leaders to bring the scores to the highest levels got really rewarded. That's also a good thing about WCM. On the other hand, if you focus so much on bringing these pillars upward and you forget about the foundation of the managerial principles and the culture, you will see that your tempo collapse. Your pillars are too high, your organization cannot carry anymore. That's why it took us 12 years to come from a pilot environment to a whole plant environment. And actually, to be honest, I think it would have taken another 10 years if you didn't work on that foundation. So that's exactly what CNH Business System is now focusing on. They are strengthening the foundation, and then we can build up back the pillars bit by bit. And what I learned now in the short term is the second year that we do CNH business system. Okay. The structured daily agenda is really something new in the culture, also for the management. There are a very strict set of meetings. We have also a very strong plan manager. If you are 1 minute too late, you will not escape it. So, but it's really important, because if you have so many meetings, they are short, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. If you are 1 minute late, you missed already 20% of your meeting. So this is discipline, and also no fly zone. Nobody can overbook that time slot. A challenge, I must say. Simple is very key in this, but we knew that already. Simple standards, same for all, easy to expand. That's the difference with WCM. We start with simple tools like 5S, standard tools, but to be more advanced, we got always more advanced standards and advanced tools, and then you lose. It's becoming a mess. It's hard to expand, and we had over 600 tools to manage. Now it's much simpler. KPI management at point of impact was already told by Pieter, with smart targets that really matter to the customer, and the customer is not always the end customer, it's the next step in the process. So if in the machine shop they show KPIs, it's because the parts that go from there to the welding, as the process afterwards, they will get the input for quality about the welding. Culture of one team, it's extremely important. Customer oriented, same principles, solution driven mindset. It's we have also, with the new CEO, we launched a cultural program. So every employee was trained from the first one to the last, also the blue collars, the white collars and the blue collars, to really understand what it means one team, what it means customer, what it means to be, we call it above the line. Above the line is solution thinking, not problem thinking, and it's very important. And then the Kaizen weeks that Pieter talked about, the preparation is more than the Kaizen week itself. The data collection to really understand what is present in the floor, what is it's actually, if you know PDCA, the whole plan phase you do up front. Then in 1 week you do the do, acts, and then the check comes after that week. But that plan is so important, and you will not start your week with 7 people that you pay for 1 week if you don't have a good plan. So that's very, very important. Consistency, discipline was already told. One we missed in WCM was patience. It's really key. It's not a competition. It's you cannot force it. If you build your pillars on a foundation that is not dry yet or not thick enough, your pillars will collapse. It makes no sense. You cannot grow if you don't do it. So that's why we come to this final sentence: continuous improvement as a culture and behavior, and it's never a program or a goal. This was the end of the story.
Any questions? Yep. Oh, just a second.
You were talking about, in the last slide, about the no-fly zone. How well was that respected by your headquarters?
Yeah. You want to answer on me? You have more view on the...
What do you mean by the headquarters?
Well, I worked with a company that tried to do the same, and the headquarters was in the US, and they call in when it's convenient for them, and then they mess up. Batteries empty.
Yeah.
If people from the outside, other companies from within your group,
Well, it's a bad question, perhaps. I don't. Yeah. It's I must admit, it's a challenge. It's a challenge we have, and therefore we have a plant manager that is very serious about it. He said, "Look, these guys you will not touch during these time slots." Yeah, but it's very important. It's priority. Okay, then we put some extra time, but not during these time slots. Also for ourselves. I mean, we all know as quality managers or as quality people, you have an urgent issue, production fails at some spot, you will not say, I could not come to the meeting because we had something urgent to do there. Yeah, you need to find backup. That could be, if you cannot come, if it's really serious, then you need to send backup to the meetings, but never send nobody. But it's a challenge, I must say, the agenda is fully loaded.